Okay, on to part 3 of my very long rant. I'm starting to get rather sleepy and lightheaded. Unfortunately, I don't have a very good uh, sleep cycle, and I don't have very good ways of taking care of myself. But we get to the hobbies portion of today's program, which, you know, no one's allowed to tell you what to enjoy. No one's allowed to tell you how to enjoy it, but everybody's a critic. And it's like, yeah, I do YouTube as a hobby. And, like, I'm sure I sound like I'm all ticked off and things. I'm I'm just tired now. So, you may not realize this, but YouTube has had a very long history. I haven't been there for all of it. I'm not technically an expert, but I was there for a good bit. I have seen the past. And, you know, part of my problem is everyone's a critic, because everybody is a critic. But part of my long past is that I was a critic. Back in the day with an ex of mine, we were trying to be legitimate critics. And we did all the right things and we tried all the right stuff, and it didn't pan out for us. And it's not like anybody did anything wrong, because, that sort of thing is mostly luck. And ask any big YouTuber or influencer about it, and they'll be like, personality, subject, and luck. Okay? That's one thing. But back in the past, you weren't trying to get clicks. It wasn't about having the most popular video. It wasn't about how much ad revenue you got. It wasn't about being PC. It wasn't about being advertiser friendly. It was a space where you could put up your own thoughts and opinions versus all of the corporations and all of the mainstream. And you could talk freely about your interests and crazy niche things that you were proud of and happy about. And it's not anymore. And oh, I could so go on a terribly long, ear blistering rant about all the people who I think it is their fault. And I could do this and point fingers that and yell and scream and all that, but there's no point in it. No one's done anything wrong. People have found a way to make money, and you can't fault them for that. Like, hey, if I could make money doing YouTube, I would. Believe me, I would. If you ask me, working in YouTube, making videos, making content, being an entertainer is much easier than having a labor-intensive job. like most of the ones I've had throughout most of my life. Let's be clear, I'm not trying to say that I work harder and deserve more than somebody else. That's not my intention here. It's easy to point fingers at people like that. It's easy to say things like that. But in truth, that's not how it works. You know? I'm not more deserving of one thing than anyone else is. A lot of people are like that. And that's a big problem with the world. And sometimes everyone feels like that. Everyone feels like they deserve or are entitled to something. And you're not more entitled than anyone else. And of course, that's something to be sad about. But that's no reason to be angry. There's no reason to take your emotions out on other people. Lost my train of thought again. That's no reason to be upset at other people. They didn't do anything wrong. They didn't hurt you. Am I so super, super jealous of people who get to make a living being entertainers? Yes. Does it look easy when it's really not? Yes. It's important to remember that everything is harder than it looks. It's important to remember that most people are simply doing a job, providing a service that they get paid for. They have lives, they have dreams, they have wants and needs like everyone else. And of course, everybody's a critic. No matter how good you are at something, somebody's always going to find a flaw in it. That's human nature. A lot of people will constantly point out flaws in the things I do. Lord knows there's enough of them. That's fair. Many of you probably don't understand what sort of life I lead. You don't understand what sort of constraints I go under. And you know, that's not your fault. But as time goes on and I try to find something to do with myself, as I try to find something I like and try to find something I'm good at, and I do the best job I'm capable of and know how, the constant reminder that everything could be a bit better is not helpful. Admittedly, a lot of the people who feel this way have already left, so it's kind of a moot point right now. I do thank all of you for your viewership. You watching my content is one of the few things that motivates me at this point. And I thank you for that. Not trying to be sappy or trying to beg, but thanks. That being said, if you've actually watched my videos for a while, you'll notice that the same problems keep coming up over and over again. There's some new program out there, apps I think they call them now. See, back in my day, we just called everything a program. Well, come on, come on.